Hey, it's Michael Kosta. How you doing? This is the Tennis Anyone pod. I'm turning my headphones up. It is November 12th, Wednesday. Walter's being groomed. If you're watching on YouTube, he's usually right there, hanging out, sleeping during this thing. But couldn't make it work this week, so sorry. I know a lot of you just tuned in to watch my dog. 50th anniversary of this. It? Some of you do.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy.
Any Midwestern knows this.
With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early.
50 years ago.
The ship was the pride of the American side.
The SS
coming back
Edmund
from
Fitzgerald
in Wisconsin.
Sunk
as
with
the
26,000 tons of iron ore
with a
in
crew
its
and
belly.
good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland.
It's a great song.
Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling?
Letting it play a little too long.
The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and the wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing.
So that is the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot, who is a Canadian singer, and I think technically the SS Edmund Fitzgerald sunk, by the way, 50 years ago this week, on the Canadian side of Lake Superior. And I know this sounds very funny to many of you. As a Michigander growing up, claiming the Great Lakes, I always just thought the Great Lakes were American. Does that not surprise anyone who's listening internationally? My whole life, I thought the Great Lakes were an American entity. That tells you a little bit about my upbringing. And it never crossed my mind that we share the Great Lakes with Canada or the previous persons who lived before us. So the Great Lakes are amazing. Anyone that follows this podcast knows I am in love with the Great Lakes. I donate to the Great Lakes Alliance. You should too. It's 1/5 of the world's water, 1/4 of the world's surface water. I mean, Lake Superior alone is like 2,000 feet deep. The Edmund Fitzgerald was an American Great Lakes freighter that sank in Lake Superior during the storm of November 10th, 1975. All the crew perished, 29 men. And it's just a wild story. And Gordon Lightfoot, it's probably best known for the song by Gordon Lightfoot, which shows, by the way, isn't it hilarious that, like, is he folk? Is he rock? What's Gordon Lightfoot? I mean, with that name, what would he be described as? Canadian singer, songwriter, folk rock, country music legend. It's funny if you think rock. If you think rock, it seems strange that someone would sing a memorial to men who sunk in a ship. If you think folk, perfect. If you think country, perfect. But really, his song is the perfect mix of the cheesiness of country, the musical aptitude of rock. I mean, it is the drums, beautiful song, and then the folkness of really, having a social point, activism, bringing awareness to something. I probably did not know about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald until that song came out. And yesterday, walking around work, I asked 10 people about the Edmund Fitzgerald. They were non-Michiganders, non-Midwestern people, and they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. So just imagine for a second, and today's episode might feel male heavy. Maybe not. I want to talk to the men for a sec, because I'm not, I'm a man, and there's been so much masculinity stuff lately, and I think men need to just become more in touch and more aware of their emotions and what they feel and how to manage them. And we're not going to manage them the way, I'm speaking in general terms here, we're not going to manage them the way that maybe the other gender does, but we got to figure it out. And I'm talking to myself too. And it actually is perfectly tied in to the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Let's quickly go through the Edmund Fitzgerald. Shelton is playing Felix Auger-Aliassime right now. FAA did a great job to claw himself back into this match. This is in Torino. I got to admit, Torino looks like Greece, looks like Paris, feels like Laver Cup. It's hard at this time of year. And I'm thinking these guys are going to, these guys are bashing away, and then they get a month off, and then we're back at it. I actually thought that today's podcast, now it's funny, I was laying in bed. I woke up early for some reason today. No real reason. And I was thinking, we gotta make tennis 7 or 8 months long. And I was like, let's look at the calendar. And if you're not going to move the Grand Slams, which they won't, even though I think they probably should, it would be pretty sweet if the Australian Open maybe went March. If you did the Australian Open in March, that would give players the year-end championship here. It would give them December, January, February off. Now, Palm Springs gets all fucked up, but they've just stacked too much. They've stacked too much. Or you keep the Australian Open where it is right now, January, okay? Ends January 26th, and you take, it's got to be at least 2 months. It's got to be 3 months. You guys, we got to miss it. We got to miss the sport. I love the sport. And I'm like, oh God, what's happening now? Oh yeah. And the women's, by the way, no one is watching in Saudi Arabia. I don't understand it. Nobody's at the comedy festivals. No one's at the tennis. Rybakina won, which is awesome. Did she go undefeated? I think she did. I think she won all her fucking matches. She beat Sabalenka in the final. And she won a shitload of money. It's $5 million, $6 million, whatever it is. Yeah. I think the women's final is actually, in a weird way, more entertaining to me than the men because it's sooner. We get it over with faster. And now they have a legitimate time off. They have maybe 2 months. I don't know. Do they? Or is it just last week? It was just last week. So they have one more week off. The Australian Open starts January 16th. This is of last year. The Adelaide Open starts January 6th. So now, not everyone's playing the year-end championship, only 8 people. But let's say this ends in 2 days, which it will. November 14th, December 14th, January 4th. That's 2 months. And then we're at the Australian Open. It's not enough time, especially because they're playing Adelaide. They're playing Auckland. They're playing all this other shit, the Team Cup. It needs to be 3 months off. You need at least 3 months off. So let's say, could you move up the Australian Open and make it now? No. I think it needs to be 3 months off after this event, December, January, February. The Australian Open should start things off in February. There you go. I just solved it. And now there's they added another to Saudi Arabia. I mean, come on, guys. You're hurting the sport. It's like when there's so many comedy festivals, there's so many specials, there's so many YouTube specials, there's so many channels. It's like there's too much comedy. This topic is long been discussed and should be discussed by people who have actually played on the ATP Tour. Although maybe not, because maybe I'm the perfect guy, because I actually love the sport and pay for Tennis Channel and pay for the subscription above the thing and pay for ESPN. So I watch all the courts. I'm the guy. I love the sport and I pay. And they're wiping me out. They're wiping me out. All right. The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald lost its entire crew, 29 men. Largest ship on North American Great Lakes and remains the largest to have sunk there. You know, there's like 290 sunken ships in Lake Superior. Crazy. For 17 years, Edmund Fitzgerald, by the way, it's also funny that the Edmund Fitzgerald is named after, so stupid. Even back then, they were stupid. Chairman of Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company. Is there something incredibly ironic about a life insurance company boat killing everybody? I bet you those jokes have never been made. Also, this captain, rest in peace, but this part, Captain Peter Pulser was known for piping music day or night over the ship's intercom while passing through the St. Clair and Detroit rivers and entertaining spectators at the Sioux Locks with a running commentary about the ship. Her size, record-breaking performance, and DJ Captain endeared Edmund Fitzgerald to boat watchers. I don't know about you. I fucking can't stand excessive music. That doesn't mean the guy deserves to die. Also, it's crazy reading this stuff. You know, I kind of got it. I don't know what it is. I've been reading this other book called Shadow Divers about these amateur but very excelled scuba divers who find a Nazi submarine sunken on the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean off of New Jersey. I'm pointing to it right now, New Jersey. So I've just been in like this water vibe, the underwater vibe, and then the Edmund Fitzgerald 50-year ceremony. And then I went to the aquarium. So I'm feeling water right now. But it is wild to think what is going on down there. And it's wild, all the scuba shit. And then what's so cool about YouTube is that you can find people videotaping, GoProing a shipwreck. What? So, yeah. Her crew of 29 perished. I love the terminology with ships. It's like her crew. And then I had to look up. At one point, the captain was in touch with Coast Guard and said that he's taken on a considerable list. A considerable list. What's a list? What are all these words? What's starboard? What's bow? I don't know any of this shit. I'm from Michigan. I should know this. The Great Lakes are mine. A list is when a boat is tilted. And if it goes too far, Gordon Lightfoot writes a song about you. Lightfoot wrote the hit song after reading an article, The Cruelest Month, in November 24, 1975 issue of Newsweek. Ooh, I should read that. I'm going to pull that up. I'll read that on my own time. Google. There it is. Bet you they're going to make me buy it. The sinking. Oh, shit. The sinking. It is a huge Wikipedia page. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Don't worry. It's a bad head, him to poops in the head. Said that the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald changed some things in shipping, like radar, and that's as it should. Although I am kind of curious about the naming. Who the fuck? History, design, and construction. Northwest Mutual Life Insurance Company in Milwaukee was invested in the iron and minerals industrials on a large scale, including the construction. So, yeah, so this company wants the minerals, which is we're still doing. Why do you think Trump wants Greenland? Or why do you think we give a fuck about half the places we do? Because they have nickel and cobalt, which is what all our phones are in, which represented the first such investment by an American life insurance company. Too funny. The first investment by an American life insurance company into a ship everyone died on. In 1957, they contracted Great Lakes Engineering Works. I always wonder, like, if your boat sinks and you built the boat, did you fuck up? Is it your boat? Hey, man, their boat sunk. Hey, just so you know, like, they were good to work with. They responded to emails, but their last big boat did sink. Okay, I'm going to try someone else. By ore freighter standards, the interior of the Edmund Fitzgerald was luxurious. Deep pile carpeting, tiled bathrooms, drapes over the portholes, and leather swivel chairs in the guest lounge. There were 2 guest statements. You know, when I was in Grand Rapids and I took the ferry across Lake Michigan to Milwaukee, doing my gigs there, we passed a few freighters, and obviously any passenger ship has to yield to a freighter. I don't know why, obviously, maybe because of commerce. But these things are fucking enormous. And what's crazy is we were just crossing Lake Michigan, not even at like a crazy spot. You go a few miles out, I mean, it is lake everywhere. It's scary. It's fucking scary. And can you imagine being on this giant thing in November? They lost radar. The captain that was messaging the Coast Guard, he was in touch with the Coast Guard, which is also shitty. And the last thing that they ever heard him say was, we're hanging in there, basically. He was asking the Coast Guard, the captain of the Edmund Fitzgerald, hey, at Whitefish Bay or wherever the fuck they are there any of the lighthouses working? Can anything help us? Because we're flying blind here. In fact, he was following another ship, the Arthur Anderson, which is also another financial thing, no? And that ship came back to help him, but they were gone. Sucks. Northwest Mutual wanted to name the ship after its president and chairman of the board, Edmund Fitzgerald. Well, that fucking worked out, huh, Ed? That's like how Trump wants the ballroom to be named after him, or what else? Oh, he wants the Warriors Stadium. Fitzgerald's own. That would actually be hilarious. That would be the other way to curse your ballroom or your stadium. Name it the Trump Football Stadium. The only thing that this administration responds to is strength. Right? You know? I keep saying it. Fitzgerald's own grandfather and all great uncles had themselves been lake captains, and his father owned the Milwaukee Dry Dock Company, which built and repaired ships. Sounds like Edmund Fitzgerald made a lot of money in life insurance, but wanted to be a boat captain. Fitzgerald had attempted to dissuade the naming of the ship after himself, proposing the names Centennial, Seaway, Milwaukee, and Northwestern. Northwestern would have probably knocked. Probably would have done a good job. The board was resolute, and Edmund abstained from voting. Okay. The 36 board members voted unanimously to name her the SS Edmund Fitzgerald. Oh, that's just so ironic that even Edmund Fitzgerald's like, don't name it after me. And then he didn't even vote. And then everyone who worked for him had to vote for it because his boss, just like the cabinet members of this current presidential administration, more than 50,000 people attended Edmund Fitzgerald christening. I'm already too deep into this shit. Anyways, year-end champion. It's just fun. It's a fun song. Year-end championship right now. Ben Shelton. Oh, they're in the third set. 6-5. Felix Auger-Aliassime. Let's go to the standings. Alcaraz 2-0. Taylor Fritz 1-1. Taylor Fritz lost to Alcaraz. Musetti 1-1. De Minaur 0-2. Musetti beat De Minaur. Alcaraz beat Taylor Fritz. He's playing Musetti right now. He also beat De Minaur, Alcaraz. Sinner, 1-0. Zverev, 1-0. Ben Shelton lost to Zverev, 0-1. Felix Auger-Aliassime lost to Jannik Sinner. They have played a lot of tennis against each other. And doubles, I'm not going to get into doubles. But that's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. I was in Bethlehem, PA this weekend, had a great show there. Then I did a matinee in Annapolis, Maryland at 2 p.m., That sold very, very well. Thank you, everybody, for showing a beautiful, sunny fall day. People showed up to go indoors to watch my comedy. And Bethlehem, PA, it smacks. It slaps. What's the word? What do kids say? The Riz. It's got Riz. 6'7". I don't know what I'm fucking saying. I thought Bethlehem, not every city in Pennsylvania is what you think it's going to be. Roughly 80,000 people, 2 universities, a not-for-profit art center. Bethlehem, PA, beautiful on the Lehigh River. Well, somebody told me that they were named after the biblical town Bethlehem. And I was like, oh, you think, dumbass? You don't think it was the other way around? You don't think that Jesus' birthplace was named after a small town in Pennsylvania? Come on, bro. I was going to talk more about men, but I ran out of time. Basically, a lot of my male friends are going through breakups, like many. I can't believe how many it is. And some men are seeking help, and some men are not. And I just want everyone to know that you got to go to therapy. You don't have to go all the time. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be, but it needs to be like your gym membership. It's expensive, just like a gym membership is. It's bullshit how expensive it is. It's complicated paying for it, but go talk to somebody about how you're feeling. And when you go to the therapy, don't just sit there and pretend that this is a life coach or this is a business mentor. No, talk about shit. What are you afraid of? What models did you see in your life, and how do those affect you now? Get to the core issue of shit. What so many men don't realize, I'm realizing it myself too, what so many men don't realize is the patterns that we live in and the thoughts that we have become solidified based on deeper issues of us either not managing or not being able to deal with emotional health. So a certain way of thinking gets patterned because it worked for us when we were 20 or 18 or 11, but we're not really getting to the core issue of whatever it is. I want more attention from my parents. I don't like the way I was treated in my home. I believe imposter syndrome, non-imposter syndrome. I don't think anybody ever believes in me. I mean, there's all these really legitimate concerns and issues that are none of our faults. Usually has to do with your parents. By the way, I'm doing it to my daughter right now, which is why she'll go to therapy at some point. But if you had a model that shaped you, if both your parents are raging alcoholics, you kind of don't even have a chance with some of this stuff. So you got to go talk to a therapist and talk to him or her, I think him personally, about your life, your experiences, and start digging into how that may have shaped you. Then you can understand yourself more. Here's the thing: most men don't want to do it. It's expensive. It's expensive. It's expensive. It's expensive. It's important though. It's your mental health. So is a gym membership. You spend money on your gym membership, your body looks good, but your insides are all fucked up. Spend a little money on your insides too. And by the way, your insides are healthy and fit. You exude a different energy and confidence and color to your life. Finding a therapist sucks. Here's what you should do. Call your insurance company. If you have insurance, call your insurance company. I just did something for Project Healthy Minds. I know if you go to Project Healthy Minds, they have a lot of resources for how to find a therapist. But if you have insurance, call your insurance company. Say, I need a mental health therapist. How do I do it that's covered? How much is it going to cost? Oh, the first $500 I'm going to have to pay for? Okay, pay for it. Call 2 or 3 people. See who calls you back. Stick with it. It's a project. Stick with it. Don't just bail immediately. Set up a few sessions. Eliminate 1 or 2 of them. And then find somebody and give them 5, 6, 7, 8 tries. Not 1. Not 2. Like commit for 2 months, 3 months. Really do it. And then check back in. Okay? Most people in my life who tell me that they don't need therapy the most. One time I was doing a guided meditation, and it was this like meditation expert, and a guy asked a great question. He said, I love to meditate, but certain days I'm too busy and I can't schedule it. What's your recommendation? And the meditation teacher said, on those days, you should meditate twice. The people, and I was like you, the people that think they don't need it or they got their shit figured out, just go. Try it. I'm just really disappointed when I see men struggling with difficult things. Breakups suck. Breakups are difficult. Of course, you're going to struggle with them. But there are ways to go through that, navigate through that. Don't go around it. Don't go under it. Got to go through it. That can be easier and can set you up for more success on the other side. Also, there's nothing worse than a breakup. Period. It's the worst thing. Somebody should write a song about it. In a weird way, a breakup is almost worse than death. Because with death, you're like, it's bye-bye. They're gone. But with a breakup, it's like, they didn't pick me, or there's something wrong with us, or why did I do this again? How did I end up with this person again? I don't want to be with this person. In a way, a breakup is the worst thing. Obviously, talk to a parent who's dealing with like their kid being sick or something. That's not true, but I think you get my point. I'll be in Buffalo in Ithaca next month. Excited about that. Excited to sell a lot of tickets. I'll be signing and selling books. Lucky loser. Go get it. Still selling like crazy. Thank you so much, everybody. And mental health, man. Mental health. This episode is dedicated to the 29 men lost on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Shit, where'd it go? There it is. Game, set, match.
When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook came on deck saying, fellas, it's too rough to feed you. At 7 p.m. a main hatchway caved in. He said, fellas, it's been good to know you.